Hello, this is my first live since being back in the United States, I think. I went live on some other things last week, but this is my first time going live right here on my abuse channels since being back in the US. I have at least an hour. I'm here to hang out for a bit. I'm here to answer questions. I have a couple things that I do want to talk about today that I feel like are important to talk about. But I'm also, as usual, by the way, how do you like my guys' sunglasses? I love them. I got them at Pride this weekend. I'm also open to, as always, answering questions, talking about whatever you guys have going on in your lives, and going from there. Hi, Kat. How's it going? Glad you're here. What was I going to start off with? I entitled this live Post-Separation Abuse because that's definitely something I want to talk about. Because I have been experiencing it, or I seem to be experiencing it. In fact, I just found out a little bit more information about some weird things that have been going on the last month or so. And so I wanted to talk to all of you about post-separation abuse because this is something that is very likely to happen when you leave an abusive person. A lot of people think that once you break up with an abusive person and you get out of there, that you're good to go. I'm going to set you guys down for a couple minutes so you don't throw up. But that is not the case. And if you have been following me for a while, you know that I have been sharing my journey and healing and doing all of this stuff while I'm actually healing. Like, we're doing this in real time. And so I share a lot about, how to go no contact, how to stay no contact, how to heal from abuse and all that stuff. But what happens is that, I've only been out for not even 2 years. So there are things that pop up now that I do want to share with all of you because this is real life stuff. I'm not 1,400,000 years. I just said a number like my son does, like 1,400,000 years removed from this, to the point that nothing's ever happening anymore. So what can happen is when you experience, after you leave an abusive person, if you experience anything weird, it either is actually your abuser messing with you, or because you've experienced so much shenanigans from them, you're asking yourself, is this my abuser? And so that's the reality of surviving coercive control, is that for at least a very long time after we get out, we're not actually free. Even if it isn't them and it's just that something random happened to you, it's still crossing your mind. When I say these things, I do want to make it clear that it's still worth leaving. It is still worth leaving. Leave anyway as soon as you can. But this is what we have to live with, and to cope with, and to accept as part of our healing journey. I tried a new coffee from Starbucks. I don't really like Starbucks. We're going to do a little swerve here. I'm not a Starbucks fan. I think that local coffee shops are usually a lot better. But where I work, when I go on my work break, there's not really any good coffee shops. And I really wanted to come to a coffee shop, and I'm sitting outside because I was recording some podcasts and I wanted to go live and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm going to a coffee shop. This is the only one they have. They have a new drink that's like has olive oil in it, and it's really good. Like, I really like it. And now I'm like, ugh, now am I going to start drinking Starbucks? Hello there. Welcome in. It has been very hard. I will say this. It has been very hard adjusting back to American prices, especially Washington state prices, like Washington, California. Like, we're very expensive over here. So yeah, it's making me very stingy and not want to pay for anything, because I'm like, why are we paying these prices, you guys? It's been really, that's like one of the weirdest things about coming back home. It's just like the shock at how much drinks cost, coffee, all that stuff. I got a lemonade the other day and it was $5, and I was like, in what world is lemonade anyway, in America? Side note, hi, hey, I have your text marked as unread because I haven't had a moment to sit down and do that, but I am going to do that. I'm going to leave you a review. If you don't know, my friend Trey is in here right now. He just released a new book. He just published a new book, which is really exciting. Trey is awesome, And I actually don't have any of your books, but I know that his work is amazing because I have seen all his content. And he's just an incredible survivor and creator out here in this world. So, yeah. How you doing, Trey? Just drinking my expensive American coffee. That's what I was fussing about when you popped in. I can't wait to hear about all your travels. Oh my goodness, it was so amazing. It was like the best. And it's so weird when you get back from a trip though, and like it feels like you never went. Do y'all get that too? Like when you, even if it's like just for the weekend, you come right back and you're back in your space. Like when I drive to work and then I go into work and it's exactly, everything is exactly the same as it was before. I'm like, did I actually, if it wasn't for the tan I have right now, I would think that it had never happened. Brains are weird. But yeah. Yeah, so I just recorded a podcast actually, Trey, while we're in here. It probably won't be published for like 3 weeks, but I don't know if you saw the video that I did, the reel / TikTok that I did about like queer abuse. I I realized that a lot of the content that I was creating like 2-3 years ago, like validating queer people, was because I was experiencing that kind of invalidation and abuse in my own queer relationship. And so I just turned that one into a podcast. And I think, like, obviously not everyone who listens to my podcast and watches my content is queer, but it's so important to talk about because it's like this added layer that we have on top of all the other emotional abuse and things. Like, obviously we know that abusive people are going to take whatever wounds that you have and pick at it like it's a scab and just like make it worse, whatever that is. But when it's queer stuff, we have this added layer of like identity, like issues and things like homophobia and all the things that we've all dealt with our whole lives, and they take that shit and run with it. And so, yeah, that podcast will be published probably in like 3 weeks. Um, but yeah, it was a pretty crazy moment of awareness when I was like, dang, I was doing a lot of that for myself. But Trey, like, I'm sure you can relate to this too. A lot of the content that we make as abuse survivors is what we needed when we were in it. We make a lot of content like without being like, this is just for us, because it's people out of their relationships and on the road to. I feel like in a lot of ways when we're creating content, we're creating what we needed. And so it makes sense that that's what I was doing at the time, but it's also just like, dang, what a wild ride this has been. Yeah, it's like a blip. For sure. It is like a blip, which is really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. I would like to feel like it actually happened. This is why you don't date someone in your own gender. Haha. Very, very, very clever of you. Yeah, I bet that would solve all of our problems, minus the fact that I've also been abused by a man. So, whatever. There's always a homophobe everywhere you turn. Love the fresh bean grind coffee. I'm not 100% sure what that means. Cat, that was really fast. Yes, I do. Got the best spot in the whole parking lot. Not very much, no. Have a good day. Okay, you too. Bye. Oh. It's a little older gentleman. He just came up and was like, "You got a nice shady spot." I'm like, "Yeah." Gotta make dinner. We'll talk soon. Sounds good. Nice to see you. I yeet at the speed of lightning. You really do. I will say, it is so wild how many people And I feel like it's a lot of men, but a lot of people are brainwashed in our society, so it's cool. Try not to get blocked here, because last time we talked about homophobia, I got not blocked. I got banned. They will say those things and completely ignore how often women are no longer on this earth because of, yeah. Okay. I thought so. I love the elderly. Yeah, it was so cute. I just was like, I said, have a nice day. And I didn't want to be like, get out of here. But he just kind of sitting there. And I didn't know what else to say. But I was just like, have a nice day. He was just like, do you do this often? I was like, no, I'm just sitting here. But yeah, that was really sweet. I was a little bit like, I'm always weirded out when people approach me ever that I don't recognize. I'm like, no, but he was really sweet. Thought you caught it before I could. Yeah, no, I'm just sitting here. I'm currently uploading that podcast episode. So I'm here as long as the podcast episode is uploading. I have some other things that I do need to get done on this work break. But we shall see. 5 people. So 5 people are in here right now, and 7 people over there. Feel free to ask me anything. Like I said, I'm sitting here talking about post-separation abuse and things like that. Just talked a little bit about abuse in queer relationships. But as always in my lives, like if you're just sitting here quietly, if there's something that's bothering you that you want to talk about, something that you need some guidance with in terms of healing from abuse and whatnot, you can ask me anything. You are allowed to take up space here. Excuse me. That's weird. I keep finding like weird things in my car or around my car. Someone broke into my car. I've talked about this a little bit like in my Instagram stories, but someone broke into my car while I was in Spain with my son. And I'm 99.9% sure I know who it was. I will let y'all figure it out who I think that was. But I keep finding like weird things that mean something. So that's been definitely interesting. How do you trust people or open yourself up again? I'm so leery of people's true intentions. So I've been single in August, I will be single for 2 years. I will have been single for 2 years. And in October, I will have been no contact for 2 years. And I would say that I probably could date now, because I would be able to very quickly know whether someone was safe or not, versus before when I was like, this is fate because you said it was. But I don't like, it takes a long time. It takes a lot of work. I think the biggest thing about trusting other people is that you first have to be able to trust yourself. Because here's the thing, looking back at the people that I have selected to have as partners, or who have selected me and I've just been like, okay, we're partners now because they said so. Hi, welcome in. How's it going? Which has happened a lot of times in my life, where someone would just like start pursuing me and I'd be like, okay. Versus like, you know what? I don't really think like what, I don't know if this is what I'm into. Okay, like whatever. So the biggest thing, again, is that you have to be able to trust yourself. You have to be able to trust yourself to be able to recognize red flags, to be able to put the brakes on when you see the red flags, to be able to set boundaries and stick to them, and to be able to know that you have the ability to fudgicles. There's no other way. I need another way to say to choose a good partner, because none of us chose our abusers, and it's absolutely crap when someone says to choose better. But once you can trust, like I now trust myself more than I trust anyone in the entire world, which again, I never trusted myself before. I was just floating through life. I trust myself to not choose, not accept, not tolerate, not whatever. Whereas before it was just like, again, was just like whoever came along and they were pursuing me and whatever. I would not trust old Lindsay as far as I could throw her. Like, no. Does that make sense? Sorry, I meant to say that I love the fresh taste of coffee that's brewed by a bean grinder. I have a bean grinder built into my coffee pot, and the coffee tastes excellent. Yes, I agree. Fresh coffee beans is the way to go. I drink, at home, I only drink espresso. Um, I'm a big espresso. Like, I just want it to be this big. I just want to sit still while I'm drinking it. The other day, and this is extremely off topic to like abuse, I'm on Threads, by the way. Are all of you on Threads? Tell me if you're on Threads or not. I saw a thread that someone was like, tell me what's your favorite coffee order to have while you're shopping. And I just like was like, I didn't want to be pretentious because I did just get back from Europe. And I'm like, well, I just got back from Europe, and like in Europe, people just sit there and drink their espresso and just like relax and then like move on with their lives later. It just like, as Americans, we just like, we have this urge to be like, all right, I'm gonna have my coffee, but I have to be shopping while I do it. And I have this and I have to do that. And I have to like, we're always moving. And we have 400 ounces of like watered down brown juice instead of espresso, which that's a personal preference. But like, why is this our culture? And why is this like what we're always encouraging is just this like never rest, keep moving, tired moms, get up, take your kids to Target in the morning and walk around and spend $400 and just like have a massive Starbucks. I just wanted to say, why can't we just all drink our coffee sitting down? Why can't we just all sit down for the amount of time it takes to drink a coffee, even if it's a 20-ounce coffee? Why can't we just sit down? That's all I have to say about that. Old Corey didn't have an ounce of common sense, right? But it's not our fault. And so that's the thing, is that we can lovingly look back on old us and be like, dang, you poor thing. Nobody was looking out for you. And that's too bad. But now I'm looking out for me. I'm looking out for me now. I'm looking out for my son. I'm going to teach my son how to look out for himself. I do not want him to end up like me or like his dad, who's not my abuser, or like my abuser, right? So yeah. Yes, that makes sense. That was a really good question. So thank you so much for asking. Threads is so weird. I can't get used to it. Yes, I just joined Threads. Well, I'm over there. Find me. For now, I have accounts separated just because I don't know what Threads is going to be about. I don't know what's going on. So I have, because it's attached to Instagram, I have the Lindsay Goodman, which is just me traveling, existing, processing life, and Lindsay Goodman coaching, which is like, I am here. We're going to talk about abuse. We're going to talk about recovery, which is what these accounts that I'm on right now are about. So find me on Threads. Come hang out. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it goes anywhere. I don't know. In a lot of ways, I like it better than Twitter because Twitter has some yuckiness to it. But also the thing I don't like about Threads is like everyone went to Threads and there was like 2 days of like, oh, we're on a new place. What's going on? Like, ooh, this is interesting. What's going to happen? And then all of a sudden it was just like meme accounts, which like spammy meme accounts, which I don't like. I don't like them on Twitter. I don't like them on Threads. I don't want them anywhere. Like when I'm on a social media, like, yes, there's like the discovery stuff where it's like, you might like this once you have the like TikTok is like all discovery, right? It's like, you might like this, you might like this, you might like this. But like, I want to follow the people that I follow and or themes that are like this. Like, I don't want to, yeah. So that's one thing so far about Threads that I'm like, I don't know. I agree. We did the best we could with the knowledge and skills we had at the time. Absolutely. Which for a lot of us is zero. Like a little bit of an exaggeration, but like if we've never been modeled healthy relationships, our parents, we like love our parents, but don't really have a healthy emotional connection with our parents, blah, blah, blah. Like we are literally thrown into the wild with zero tools to figure out how to manage it. And that's how a lot of us end up where we end up. But the good thing about that is that we can find tools. There's a lot of tools and resources available now. And we can gather those tools and keep them and use them for the rest of our lives. And we can also share them and pass them on to other people. Your pretentious European coffee voice has me crying. Thank you so much for that. There's somebody that I follow on TikTok and I don't know what her name is, but she does like skits about like her, like, okay, she does a lot, but like one of my favorites is like the girl who just got back from Italy, or the girl who just got back from Spain, or the girl who just got back from Portugal, or wherever. And it's like, I'll send it to my friend, like I'll send it to my friends in Spain, or I'm like, am I like this? And they're like, oh my gosh, no. But like, also it's so funny because like this person who comes back and like, no, I was in Barcelona. Oh, you're drinking coffee. Oh, I just, so used to drinking espresso because I was in Barcelona. And they're just like this really pretentious, like, but it's hilarious and kind of true. But I'm actually not like that. But it sucks because like I'm very aware and I don't want to be like I'm not, I just was in Paris, like I'm gonna get a baguette for breakfast. Like, I've never been to Paris, but like I am conscious, like I am not like that, but I also am really excited about traveling and I love traveling and I want to share traveling with all of you, which is why I do that on the Lindsay Goodman account. Share a lot of my travel stuff because like I want you to be able to do it too. You know what I'm saying? But it's like there's a fine line. There's a fine line. Good. Have a great night, my friend, and thank you for your time. Thanks for hanging out. I will say this. When I did go to France, something that nobody told me as a millennial who grew up watching Beauty and the Beast is that every time I got a baguette, saw a baguette, thought about a baguette, that I would be singing in my head, Marie, the baguettes, hurry up. Like literally we were only in France for like 4 days, but every day I was like, Marie, the baguettes, hurry up. Like, I grew up watching Beauty and the Beast, okay? Obviously, that's what I'm thinking about when I see a baguette. I'm just saying. Corey, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being my hype person about my random shenanigans. Okay. What are we going to entitle this podcast episode? Now it's in my head. I did that. And now you don't eat bread when you're in the States. That's 100% true. 100% true. There's a lot of things that I eat when I'm traveling that I don't eat. One, the biggest one, orange Fanta. When we travel, I will chug that stuff because in Europe it's like 8% orange juice. So the color comes from oranges. And in the States, like it doesn't taste the same. It's not good. It's really chemically and it's like bright orange and disgusting. We don't drink pop, which is what I call it from Indiana. We don't drink pop when we're in the States, but when we're in Europe, we have Fanta and it's yummy. It still has a lot of sugar in it, but like, you know, it's in my head too. I'm going to look crazy at work, but that's okay. Good. Hi, never found someone with the last name of mine. Really? Welcome in. We love the last name. Actually, we don't. So here's the truth about my last name is that It's my dad's last name, and I love that. I love my dad. He passed when I was 13. Wonderful person. The rest of his family sucks. So it's like, we're Goodmans. This is a Goodman family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but I don't even like any of them. They all suck. It's just my dad and my grandma. My grandma was amazing. But it's like, damn Goodmans. The Goodmans. But anyway, luckily, unfortunately, my dad did pass away. All of his siblings. I'm not saying that I wish his siblings were not here, but like, my dad passed away. And so I got the parent. I got the sibling who didn't last that long. The other ones suck. I forgot what I was going to say about that. I don't know. I have no contact with any of my aunts and uncles. And one of my uncles just married a complete a-hole of a human being too. And that made it even worse. And I'm like, why do we, what? I don't know. How do we come from that family? And that's the name we carry on. Also, I'm really into genealogy, which I love genealogy. I'm the family historian. Like, if my siblings like they're like, wasn't one of our great grandma? Yes, that was this person, this name. They were born in this time. They came, like all this stuff. Like, it's just locked away. My dad was a history teacher, so I got that little history brain. Love history. But Goodman is the only name that we don't know anything about. We don't know. We got like 3 generations there, and then after that, I don't know. Every other trace on my family tree, I can go back to like the year 200. No, I'm just kidding. But I may or may not be multitasking on Ancestry while listening to Great Minds. Yes. Another one there. Love that. I go through phases. Like, obviously, I've been going through a lot of learning other things and doing other things. But I like throughout my life, I've always come back to, like, I started getting into genealogy when I was in high school because, again, my dad did pass away, and he had handwritten our family tree, and he very carefully, like painstakingly had written it out. And I remember looking at it like, I want to know more. I want to finish this for you. I want to, like, if he had lived longer, he would have been eating that stuff for breakfast, because he was way ahead of his time in terms of I just think like he would have loved podcasts. He would have loved like history podcasts. He probably would have had one. He probably would have written books. Like, he was so intelligent, and he would have just absolutely loved like all this stuff that we have available now. Ancestry.com. He would have been like their main supporter. Thanks for listening about my dad, y'all. I don't talk about him that much in this sense. I love history as well. I'm trying to learn more about mine at the moment too. It's definitely interesting. I was named after a woman my mom hates. She set the bar real low with me. She really did. That's an interesting... Do you know why she made that choice? Actually, now that you mention that, so I had a boyfriend who I really actually did really, really, really love, who was wonderful. He treated me very well. He's the only person who ever, I believe, was like, it was a really good relationship. And the girl he dated after me hated me. And she did a lot of stuff to sort of like mess with me. And she told me that she was pregnant by him. Like, why I was allowing her to have contact with me, I don't know. I was like 22. It's like, whatever. And she said she was going to name the baby Lindsay. She wasn't actually pregnant. She was just messing with me. But like, you think that guy, even if he's over me, even if he's totally over me, totally fine, good for you, great job healing, you got a new partner, you're having a baby, all that stuff, you think he's not going to remember the Lindsay that he dated for 2 years when he looks at his baby named Lindsay? Like, that's... Ancestry and 23andMe takes more of my time than I'd like to admit. I wish I could do it while I was at work. I don't have I have a lot of downtime at work. I read a lot, which I really enjoy, and I love reading. I'm glad that I have that opportunity, but I wonder how much I could get done if I had just some Wi-Fi and a laptop. I would probably have written a book by now. I got the membership like a week ago, and it's my hyperfixation. Yep. That's what we do. I delete mine, and then I'll get back into it and like have the membership, and like when the fixation wears off, like cancel it and circle back. Speaking of memberships, I have a subscription to this really awesome like sensory Play-Doh thing for my son, and he really doesn't get into them anymore. He's always like, we've done a lot of sensory stuff, we've done a lot of like messy play stuff, like all his life, and now he'll just open them and he's just kind of like, so I'm gonna cancel them. I think I'm going to give some of them to my niece because they're really used, and then cancel them, which is really unfortunate. The butterfly life cycle kit. Butterfly life cycle kit. FamilySearch.org is a good free resource if you want to start researching. Yes, very true. Oh man, I really like this butterfly life cycle one. My son would love this one. They're all themed too, which is so cool. But again, he's just like, he opens them and he's just like, meh. I'm trying to find. Sorry, that was meant to be a reply to someone. That's okay. We're talking about it. Apparently, it was because my dad suggested it and they kind of drew names out of a hat. It was a woman my dad dated. But the fact that your mom didn't veto that, like, Corey, you are Corey. Your name is Corey. Right. But, like, your mom was just like, yeah, let's do it. Oh, cool. Okay, fine. I'll keep this subscription a little bit longer. Okay, I'm going to go. I have some content I want to make, I think, before I have to go back to work. So I'm going to take some time to kind of catch up and like catch up on comments on Facebook and stuff like that. Cause I've just been like I'll ask something on Facebook. I'm like, what are you guys? And then I just don't respond and I feel really bad. So I'm going to try to catch up on some of that stuff. She definitely just went, why not go for it? Same spelling and everything. Well, here we are. I don't know. Everyone's different, right? Well, there you have it. Okay, y'all. I will see. I work tomorrow and Thursday, so I'll probably be live again somewhere. So I will see you all again soon. But also, podcast comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. New podcast episode. Don't know what it's going to be about, but stay tuned. Okay, bye.